All right, let me tell you a story. It starts with a really weird architectural puzzle, but trust me, it ends with a twist that you are not going to see coming. Today, we're talking about the staircase that led nowhere.
So, let's just jump right in. Picture this. You're in a building that's just perfect. Super elegant, professionally designed. But there's one massive, glaring mistake. But here's the question. What if it wasn't a mistake at all? What if it was put there on purpose? That's the mystery we're unraveling today.
Okay, so our story kicks off in this small town, right? There's this super popular restaurant, but get this, people weren't just showing up for the food. Nope. They were all there to see this architectural oddity. This one baffling mistake that literally became the talk of the whole town.
And what's so wild about it is the contrast, you know? You're standing in this gorgeous, professionally designed place where everything is just so. And then, bam. Right in the middle of it all, there's this huge, grand staircase that's completely useless. It just goes straight up and smacks right into the ceiling.
And I mean, it led to absolutely nothing. No door, no secret hatch, no boarded-up hallway. It was completely 100% useless. Which, of course, is exactly what made it the star attraction of the whole restaurant. People would come just to take pictures with it, post selfies, and just stare, trying to figure it out.
It didn't take long for the entire town to get obsessed with this thing. Seriously? Going to the restaurant just to guess about the staircase? That became like a local sport. Everybody had a theory. But, none of them really seemed to stick.
So, what were people saying? Well, the usual stuff. Oh, the architect probably changed his mind halfway through. Or maybe it's part of an older building we forgot to tear down. A secret passage, a hidden room. The theories were all over the place. But at the end of the day, they were all just guesses. Nobody knew for sure.
Of course, everyone would pester the staff, right? What's the deal with the stairs? But the waiters would just shrug. The real person of interest, though, was this old, kind of grumpy cashier. He seemed like he'd know something. But anytime someone asked him, you just get this icy stare in a flat, I don't know, total dead end.
And then, things get interesting. One day, the whole story just takes this wild turn. And it all started with this tiny little change, something you'd barely even notice, right there at the cashier's desk.
You see, that old clunky cash register that had been there forever, it was gone. And in its place was a brand new computer with a big monitor. And believe it or not, this simple tech upgrade, well, it was the key to everything.
So the very same day that new computer shows up, our quiet, grumpy cashier finally breaks his silence. For the very first time, he actually gives someone a clue. He tells them, hey, I heard the architect just built a new mountain resort. Why don't you go ask him yourselves?
Well, that was all the town needed to hear. A huge crowd gets together and heads for the mountains. They thought they were finally going to get an answer, but instead, the mystery just got deeper and way, way weirder.
Because what did they find up there? A giant bridge. A massive, impressive bridge. And just like the staircase, it was totally pointless. I mean, it was built in the middle of nowhere, connecting, well, nothing to nothing. It just sort of hangs there. A beautiful piece of engineering with absolutely no purpose.
Finding this bridge just threw gasoline on the fire of everyone's curiosity. People were like, okay, this is it. The architect has to be there. The answer to both mysteries has to be at the end of this bridge. So they started making the long, hard trek to get to it. So here's what happened on this weird little pilgrimage. The hike to the bridge, super tough. Long, exhausting, but strangely, a bunch of roadside attractions popped up along the way. Food stands, souvenir shops, you name it, a whole little industry. And when people finally got to the bridge, no architect, nothing. They took their selfies, looked around, and then just went home, even more confused than when they started.
But here's the thing. The answer wasn't up in the mountains. It wasn't at some bizarre bridge. The real secret? It was right back where everything started, inside that restaurant, late one night.
Picture it. The restaurant's closed for the night, all the lights are low, staff's gone home, the only person left is him, our old friend, the grumpy cashier, just sitting there by himself. It's totally quiet. You can almost feel the tension.
He's looking at his new computer monitor, maybe checking some security footage, who knows. Then he calmly picks up this book that was sitting on his desk, and he puts it away in a drawer. And the title of that book is the answer to the entire puzzle.
The title of the book? Principles of Marketing and Architecture.
It clicks. The staircase, the bridge, even the cashier's perfectly timed clue, it was never, ever a mistake. It was all a genius marketing plan. The architect wasn't bad at his job, he was brilliant. He knew that a weird mystery, something people would talk about and share online, would bring in way more customers than just having good food.
So that leaves us with one final thought, right? This whole story isn't really about a building. It's about how our own curiosity can be used, can be engineered, and it kind of makes you look around and wonder, doesn't it? How many staircases to nowhere are built all around us every single day, just designed to make us stop and look?